Hello YouTubers, and once again this is my second episode of the God of War Ascension playthrough. A playthrough made by Game Target, and I am your host. But yeah, once again, this is the long-awaited prequel to the God of War series that I've decided to have a playthrough of. And there's a lot of stuff in this episode that will be a new concept because of the fact that I have found out via this video that there are no weapons as such, more of the element side, and whilst I'm talking, obviously I'm skipping a very important cutscene. This cutscene almost says the fact that the Ghost of Sparta, Kratos, is in the events before he kills his wife and child. Spoiler alert. God of War 1. Oops. But really, if you didn't know that by now, well, you've been a bit behind. Anyway, and obviously he believes that he's still at his home, where basically he's just having a good time. When actually, no. It turns out that he's actually been broken out of an illusion by this strange looking bloke, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, and will almost certainly be asked to do a quest or path, because the
ultimately freedom from your bond to the god of war himself.
Break an oath with a god. Of all the minds in question, mine is not the one to worry about.
You waver from sound mind to illusion in the beat of a heart. Is that any life for a great warrior? The Furies are near. They cannot know I speak with you. I will draw them away. The truth waits for you in Delphi, Kratos. Seek the Oracle.
so yeah, because of great timing, I was able to clip in the voiceover of the strange looking person saying ultimately freedom from the god of war himself, which will be good. Anyway, I'm going through this bit and I'll be picking up a weapon that is new to us, which is the club, which is still a stun weapon, but it is quite a slow, quite powerful one that can affect even the biggest of enemies, including a newer enemy which will be coming up shortly. And during this, hint, always look at the houses at this point, because the doors are always some of the doors are slightly weakened, so go for them, because then there will be red boxes and white boxes. And once again, if you haven't played beforehand any of the God of War games, white boxes give you one of a set of 5 different items. These items, when completely made into a set, will give you an upgrade in your magic or health, which is also good, and I'd keep an eye out for them always. I will try and keep an eye out as well and find as many as I actually can. But yeah, and red boxes are obviously for points to upgrade weapons and that. Now, you haven't seen me actually upgrade any of my weapons, but I have. I upgraded them in a little sneaky part just before I created this video. In the last bit of the episode, just before I signed off, I did without filming it. But yeah, I continuously, because of the fact that most of the elements now, most of the weapons are replaced with elements, which almost is like an introduction to the online system of play, including these weapons as well. But yeah, this is almost like an introduction to the online concept of elements, because if I do eventually upgrade the elements that you gain, you will see that some of the moves that you can do with magic especially are very similar to the ones on online. But anyway, this enemy that I'm facing now is called a Juggernaut, which is almost like a big half man, half elephant, which is kind of weird, seeing as though you're probably thinking right now, wait a minute, there was no elephant slash man things in Greek mythology. No, there wasn't. I don't think. But yeah, Minotaurs were there, and Cyclopses were there, and I think there's Cyclopses in this one, and I think there's an introduction not only to the Juggernaut but to a new concept of the Gorgons, and a Gorgon is the it's basically like a Medusa. It's like, yeah, it is exactly like, it's a Medusa that turns people to stone. But there's a new concept they've done, and there are new aspects to that sort of enemy, which you will see in a bit. But yeah, keep an eye out always for this sort of stuff. But there's also been an introduction to the game, some new sort of if you walk off the general path of the game, you will find puzzles. These puzzles will give you rewards, such as in this one there's a puzzle that gives you 2 red boxes and 1 white box, and that will come up shortly, and I'll say where it is, and I'll show you where it is. And yeah, in that house there, don't make the mistake I did, that house there has actually nothing in it. But anyway, let's continue on. Most of this stuff is pretty straightforward and pretty obvious to do. I mean, this bit's pretty much, you grab hold of the rotator and you just rotate using an analog stick. That's pretty simple. But yeah, any new stuff during this I'll say about it, but until then, I'll see you in a bit. But yeah, anyway, you'll see me go off the general path quite a lot during these videos, because I like to think I am good at finding these boxes and that, when actually I'm not really. I just randomly go off in a direction and hope for the best. So just then I've gone in random direction and I didn't find anything, which makes me look like a big twit. But anyway, I'm now facing these bug things, which have a different sort of element, if you can see, which is fire. And you'll see in a bit that the first unlock you get for the game, which is the element of fire, given to you by Ares, which I don't really understand, because that's your general enemy, because he's the one who set the Furies on you. So if it's like, oh, I'm gonna give you my fire, that's smart, and sounds a bit weird actually, to be honest. I'll give you the fire. No. Anyway, so there's now going to be a tutorial for the Ares fire. So as you could see in that fight scene just then, the elements are very incorporated into the fight scenes and the fighting style, because there wasn't just one thing that you could do with your power, there were multiple, which I think expand as you upgrade the power, but we'll see later on. But basically, the two main things you could do with it are the fact that you could do a powered sweeping thing which attached a grenade, incendiary grenade type to an enemy, and a big fire inferno attack. And basically this next bit, which I'm fighting, is a new enemy, which is like a heavy goat enemy, which just doesn't sound good. But yeah, basically, hint if you are doing this on hard and it's a bit difficult, take out the people that are throwing the spears first, and basically use your attacks wisely, because there are 3 enemies and some of them are armored. But best way to use a group attack is using the simultaneous L3 to R3 button smash, which will give you the incendiary grenade, as well as with the newer enemy, which you can throw up in the air and that. You have a lot more power and a lot more movement in it, because you can throw him about, you can launch him up into the air like I said, and you can do stuff like this where you do a stun and you throw him across the room, which is quite cool as well, and it makes it a lot more fun to face him as an enemy. But yeah, I'm not gonna say an introduction to ledges because it just sounds stupid, but this next bit, I did something pretty stupid when I tried to record this the first time, which was my ledge grabbing didn't work, but as you can see it's working fine now. But yeah, it's not that hard to get these boxes, and there is a set of 2 red ones around the corner. Now you'd think that I'd rather go for the white boxes. No, because if you went for just white boxes and just survived off of red orbs from enemies, you wouldn't have that many red orbs. Go for boxes all the time. If you see them, go for them. Don't miss them. It's just a waste. But yeah, you'll see, and I think I am coming up to another new weapon, which is the sling, which fires fireballs at your enemies, which I like, and an old favourite of enemy, which is the little bats, which are a bit aggravating, especially when you're facing someone else with a sling. But yeah, and then after this slight fight scene, you will see another old tradition of God of War, which is a decision-making box, which I will explain in a minute once I've got rid of this guy. Now, the decision-making box changes every so often between green orbs and blue orbs. Green orbs being health and blue orbs being magic, and you obviously have to decide at the time which one you want. But yeah, I went for magic because of the fact that you have a very devastating attack with the magic. It's quite helpful to keep a little bit of magic there, just to make sure that you don't do anything stupid with it. Well, not do anything stupid, but get yourself out of a big trouble, because if you run up against a formidable opponent, you might need it. But yeah, we're now coming up to a puzzle. Now you'd think when I'm doing through this puzzle that actually, Joe, this isn't a puzzle, this is actually pretty crap for a puzzle. Well, you say that, but later on you will see what I mean by that, because this puzzle does change. It eventually becomes a bit more widespread and you have to do another concept which is different. But at this moment in time it's pretty straightforward. when you grab hold of the pulley, pull the pull it back as far as humanly possible, and you'll think that it will stop at a certain point, but keep trying and get as close to the knockdown bit of wood as possible that's blocking the rest of it, because then we'll have a chance. As well as I keep on saying, I once again looked round a corner to see if there were any boxes, and I found some, which is good, which means that you don't have to miss them, and they will re-heal themselves by next time I come round this sort of area with a new power that expands this puzzle, but you'll see that later on. Anyway, I think, apart from the fact that the sort of off the path puzzle is coming up shortly, I think that's the only thing I need to talk about, I believe, apart from another power that you get later on. But I will see you then. Now this is what I was talking about. The actual path was probably noticed by a lot of you, which was a big pillar, and you had to pull it down and climb up. But no, I'm going this way because this is the path to a puzzle, which just gives you a reward, which is seen right there, which is 2 boxes of white, 2 boxes of red, and you basically have to figure out how to do this. Now first thing, you have to get into the middle point. That's pretty easy. Wait until it comes past, run behind it, giving you enough time to circle round, and quickly just destroy it. Just destroy the barrier. Now the way to do this, which will not be demonstrated by me right now, is to pull these things into the path of it in a correct order, which I did not do first time. Instead I accidentally missed one of them, and yeah, that didn't work out so well. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, the point of this bit is to get it so that by the time one of the ball thing reaches the first one, you have to be almost on the first block, which means you have to time it rightly, which will be pulling out the first one on the right. The first one on the right, by the time it reaches the end of the 3 boxes you have to climb, which we'll see in a minute me doing. So yeah, first one done. By the time that's done, pull the second one and pull the last one and move. And you should be able to make it by that time, but you may have to rush quite a bit. But yeah, once I've reached there, I will show you what I meant by you upgraded what you get when you get a full set of Gorgon eyes or feathers. There you go. 5 Gorgon eyes, and it upgrades my health quite significantly. But I don't have enough feathers yet. And obviously that will upgrade my magic, which will also be good, because then I won't use it up in one like I did earlier. Oops. Anyway, so yeah, the last pulley that was right next to the boxes gives you a safe path out of the chamber, and I will then pick up where I left off with the path to completing this section of the game. Pardon my stupidity just there trying to climb a ledge. Anyway, this is what I was talking about, a new concept for the Gorgon enemy, which is a lot faster. It's not as huge, and instead of when you kill it, it releases this energy that turns any of your enemies around you into stone. When you stun it, it then does the well, the attack, which makes turns people into stone, which we'll see in a minute. But yeah, basically, hint to avoid them, and it's a bit of a complicated one. Basically, don't over attack, because you will get hit, because unless you stun it immediately during your attacks, it will hit you, and it will definitely stun you or hurt you. So the best way to do it is to just be 1-2 smack, 1-2 smack, and get out of its way, and use your elemental powers as possible, because it's a good variation and it keeps you alive, and it definitely stuns your enemy quite a bit. But yeah, unlike what I just demonstrated there, which was complete lack of timing, and I get smacked. Anyway, so what you're now going to see is another, because it's, if you've noticed, most of the main bad enemies that you face, like the Juggernaut, the Cyclops, the Gorgon, basically have this new concept of dodging and slashing your way through an enemy as a finishing move, which I quite like. I'm not sure if other God of War Ascension fans like it, but I do. But yeah, anyway, this next bit, it will be, I'm not quite sure actually, but yeah, big hint as well, just realised, when you find boxes, even if your health is fine and your magic is fine. Always refill, because you've been given that chance, you've been given that privilege, and I'd go for it. And you've probably noticed around while I've been doing this level, a lot of red boxes that have been destroyed, which makes no sense, I bet, to you, because of the fact that, wait a minute, you've only just done this bit. Why would they be destroyed? But yeah, you obviously just saw me running around looking for stuff again. But yeah, I'm probably gonna get rid of these bugs pretty quick so I can carry on. There you go. So anyway, going back to a lasting point, which was the fact of hidden boxes that are hidden just behind you in certain points, which you'll see in a minute what I mean. Yeah, I'm once again doing that, yes, but no, there isn't any boxes here that I know of, so don't randomly walk around the place like I do, like a headless chicken. Anyway, we'll see in a minute. So basically, the path is in front of us, but behind us are these boxes, and this happens a lot in the game, especially a really out of place one, which will be in the next video, which really puts you off because of the fact the distance between where you were on the path of the main story campaign and where this box is, which will really put you off because of the fact halfway through it I thought there's not going to be a box here, I'm just going to run to an end of the map, and it's like, nope, keep going. But yeah, there's a lot of bits in this that we will come back to later on. There's actually, yeah, there is actually quite a lot, because this section of the game you do actually come back to, but in a different way. It's a different landscape, because you will see later on what sort of power I will next be getting, which will be able to make a new path for me to the next part of the game. But yeah, we will now probably be coming up to a new element, which is Poseidon's Ice, which I enjoyed quite a lot using, and I'll probably be using it a bit more than the Hellfire. But yeah, you'll obviously see it in a minute.
Take the ice of Poseidon and you will find your path.
So yeah, what you didn't notice during that film is the fact that I didn't use any magic or rage meter with the ice. That's because, unlike the Fire of Ares, you have to upgrade the elements so that you can use their other unlockable powers. But yeah, this will be the final bit in my episode 2, which will show some great views and graphics from the God of War series, like they always do, and always have had, which will be really good. And basically, the reason why I'm stopping it so short this time is because this next bit with the giant snakes is like one big giant puzzle, which will unlock the Temple of the Oracle, which will be another episode. So basically, in the next episode, I will be showing you this giant snake puzzle that you have to do, and it's not like Snakes and Ladders. Anyway, so yeah, I will see you next time. If you want to subscribe to me, it will be below, like usual. And follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I probably will put up a Pinterest link as well, but the information for those 3 things or 2 things will be below. And I will see you next time in my next video. So, ciao.